When does more finally become enough? I've been carrying that question around for a while. Not because I think wanting more is wrong. I don't. There are still things I want to build, places I want to see, work I hope I'm proud of. I don't think life would be very interesting without something to look forward to. But lately I've been wondering about something else. Why does more always seem to stay just out of reach? There was a time when I thought the answer was simple. I assumed that one day I'd arrive, that life would finally feel complete. Maybe it would be the first good job, or financial stability, or having a place of my own, or simply reaching the version of myself I'd imagined for years. It always felt as though life was waiting somewhere ahead. Then, little by little, those things started happening. Not all at once, just quietly. One dream at a time. And something unexpected happened. The things I'd spent years hoping for slowly became ordinary. The first salary became just my salary. The independence I'd dreamed about became my everyday routine. The life I'd imagined became the life I barely thought about. Nothing had disappeared. I had simply stopped noticing it. I think that's the part no one prepares us for. We spend so much time thinking about how wonderful something will feel, that we never think about what happens after it becomes familiar. Maybe that's why enough is so difficult to find. Not because we never reach it, but because familiarity quietly changes the way we see it. I've noticed this pattern in almost every part of my life. The things I once couldn't wait for eventually became the things I expected. And once they became expected, my attention drifted somewhere else, towards the next goal, the next version of myself, the next chapter. It's almost automatic. Before one dream has the chance to settle, another one has already taken its place. Sometimes I catch myself thinking in the same sentence I've been repeating for years. Once I finish this, once work settles down, once life feels a little easier, once I have a little more time. The words change. The feeling doesn't. There's always the quiet belief that life will really begin after whatever comes next. And because of that, today often becomes nothing more than a bridge to tomorrow. I don't think that's how I want to live. Because when I look back at the parts of my life I miss the most, they aren't the achievements. They're the ordinary moments I never realized I was living for the last time. Conversations that seemed forgettable. Evenings that felt completely uneventful. People I assumed would always be around. Versions of myself I never thought I'd miss. None of those moments asked for my attention. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't tell me they mattered. They were just ordinary until they weren't. And that's made me wonder whether ordinary is the place where most of life actually happens. Not the milestones, not the big achievements, not the days we spend waiting for. Just the quiet days in between. The ones we usually rush through. Maybe the reason more never feels like enough is because we're asking more to do something it was never meant to do. Maybe no achievement can permanently satisfy us because achievements were never supposed to. They were meant to become part of life, not the whole of it. I still want to grow. I still want to dream. I don't think those things are the problem. I just don't want every dream to convince me that life is somewhere else. I don't want to spend years chasing tomorrow, only to realize that today's ordinary life was something I once hoped for. Maybe enough isn't the moment we stop wanting more. Maybe it's the moment we stop treating the present like it's only a waiting room. I don't know if that's the answer. Honestly, I don't think this note was ever about finding one. It was just my attempt to stay with a question a little longer than I usually do, to notice something I might otherwise have hurried past. So I'll leave this thought here, not as a conclusion, just as a reminder to myself. The life I'm waiting for has a habit of quietly becoming the life I'm already living. I hope I don't spend so much time looking ahead that I forget to recognize it while it's here. Maybe that's enough for today's note.